Hey crafters, this is Leo with Dreaming Tree, and welcome to the suggested Dreaming Tree workflow video where I'll guide you through the magical journey of bringing your paper crafts to life with Dreaming Tree. Whether you're a seasoned crafter or just starting out, we've got you covered in this video. Dreaming Tree is all about creativity, fun, and making beautiful things with your own hands. But we know that getting started can be the trickiest part. That's why I've created this step-by-step video to walk you through our entire process. Let's jump right in. Now, obviously, the first step is to find a project that you want to create. Today, we're going to be using one of our over 150 free SVG files that are available on our site. Clicking the shop button will show you all of our files, free and paid, but we do have an entire dedicated section to free SVG files, which is located right here. And these are all available for free, and each one comes with a comprehensive assembly video. Today we're going to be working on the apron favor bag. So once we find the project that we want to create, we simply click on it, and that will take us to the product page. Now, every product has its own product page where you can look at the photo in high resolution, and you can obviously add it to your cart. But most importantly, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll notice there are 4 tabs. The first one being assembly, which is already visible, and this is where you'll find the assembly video for the project, which you can watch directly on our website. You can also watch it on YouTube if you prefer to do that, and you literally just hit play and the assembly video begins. Now also we have compatibility information, just to make sure that you have a compatible cutting machine as well as compatible software. We'll also include dimension information. So this favor bag is 4.75 inches tall, 3 inches wide, and 2.375 inches deep. So this helps you determine whether or not it's a good fit for the item or gift that you want to give. Now obviously there's instances where you can resize and make things bigger, but that's all going to depend on how we create the file. Now, you can download it and see how much you can stretch it, but it is possible most of the time. And before you even begin, you can click on the supply list tab to see what's involved. For example here, for the apron favor box, we'll need 1 sheet of 12 by 12 parfait cardstock. Parfait is the specific color of cardstock that we're using. And then just below that, we have 1 sheet of 8.5 by 11 pattern paper. So if we take a look at the main product photo, you can see that this is the pattern. This is the main pattern here, okay? Now rarely when we indicate that you need an 8.5 by 11 sheet of a specific color or pattern, do we use the whole thing. Now in this case, as an example, you can see that this little bag features some wooden utensils. Okay, and you can see that they're made out of a wood grain texture. So if we take a look at the supply list, you'll see here that it mentions 1 sheet of 8.5 by 11 wood pattern paper. Now obviously, this is not going to use an entire sheet of 8.5 by 11 pattern paper. When we mention 8.5 by 11 instead of 12 by 12, what that usually suggests is that that piece is going to be a scrap or a small little section of the overall project. And then you'll also notice here there are some things that have a little asterisk next to them, indicating that these are optional things. If you want to ink your project, like I did, you can tell that I kind of went around the edges here and did a little bit of inking to add a little bit of dimension and distress to the pattern paper. That is optional. Items in this list that do not have an asterisk are typically required. So in this case, we're using satin ribbon, some hot glue, and some glue. And whenever possible, we try to include links to all of the supplies. So once you've picked out your project, you're going to add it to your cart and you're going to check out. You can click on the little bag up here. Now this is the desktop version. The mobile version of the website is slightly condensed and things look a little bit differently. I'm not going to go over that in this video, but just know that the site may look a little bit different if you're on your tablet or your mobile phone. You're going to need to create an account, which I'm not going to go over. That's pretty self-explanatory. And then you just check out and confirm. Since this is a freebie, there's no shipping or payment information required. And then once you complete your order, you can click here to download your files. And you can see there's a little download button here. And there it goes. It'll begin downloading. Now by default, it doesn't matter if you're on a Mac or a PC or even on a mobile device. Typically, when you download something, unless you've changed a setting in your browser, it's going to go into your downloads folder, and we always provide our content in zip format. It's a zip file. I like to use the analogy of traveling with a suitcase when I explain why we use zip files. So when you're taking a trip and you're getting on an airplane, you don't take your clothes and throw them over your shoulder and board a plane. You take them and you neatly organize them in a suitcase. And once they're all in the suitcase, you take that zipper and you zip up your suitcase. That's what a zip file is. It's a nice way to organize all the files required to create a project and zip them up and keep them in one container. Instead of you having to download multiple things and things getting lost, you get a zip file and you download one item, one zip file. And once you get to your destination, the destination being your computer, your laptop, desktop, mobile device, or when you get off the plane and you get to your hotel, you unzip your suitcase and you can take the items out. So before you can use any of our projects or any of our files in your cutting software, you have to unzip the file. So here's the zip file on my Mac computer. Now it's very possible if you're on a Mac and you're using Safari, after you download the zip file, Safari usually will unzip the file automatically. I've not seen this happen on a Windows machine. So in Windows, you need to right-click and extract the file. On a Mac, if yours is not automatically unzipped, you simply double-click on it and it will unzip it. And you can see what the difference is in a zipped and an unzipped file. Okay? This also applies to our Windows users. In Windows, you'll have a folder and it'll have a little zipper going across it. In this case, on a Mac, it's a file with a zipper, and the difference on a Mac is very obvious. You can tell that this is a zip file. The icon even says zip. And after I unzip it, I'll do it again. It'll just create another one. It will look like a file folder. Okay? So on a Windows machine, you want it to be a folder without a zipper. On a Mac, you want it to look like this. Now, once you have the file downloaded and unzipped, we're going to open up the folder, and you'll notice a few things. One, every single one of our products will come with a product photo, so you can get a close-up view of what it looks like, which is actually very helpful when it comes to picking out papers and colors. And we also include a very, very handy PDF menu. Now, you can look at this from your computer and just keep it on your computer, but what I recommend to all of our customers is that they actually open it up and print it out so that you have a physical copy in your hand that you can take with you either to the store, or if you're looking through your personal collection of papers, then you just have it right here in front of you so that you can go through and pick out exactly what you need to create the project. So let's talk about the PDF file real quick. You'll notice here that we've included a little photo so that you know what it is. You have your product dimensions here as well, and your supply list. And what this PDF does is it actually breaks down and shows you what each of the elements are. Not only that, but it shows you the width of the element, okay? And the name is listed here as well. And within the name is some other information that is very helpful. So let's go through that real quick. For example, element_wood_pattern.svg. Right here, wood pattern, okay? If you take a look at the actual photo, let me bring up the photo, enlarge it, okay? You can see here that this is a wood texture. So if you look at that and you look at this, you know that, well, I need a wood texture piece of paper. Now, if you don't have a wood texture, that's okay. You can just make it brown, but obviously we're trying to help you recreate this as closely as possible. And also, the fact that this is 2.1 inches wide kind of lets you know while you're going through your stash of papers whether or not a little piece of scrap will work or not, okay? If this is 2.1 inches wide, we don't have the height, but you can pretty much guesstimate that it's going to be roughly around the same height because it looks kind of square, okay? Moving on here, main_parfait. Okay, it's 11 inches wide. This is going to take up a full sheet. Anytime something is at about 11 inches or 11.4 inches, that's going to be a full sheet. And parfait is the exact color that we used out of this swatch. This is an Encore textured cardstock swatch, and you can actually get one of these from our friends over at 12x12 Cardstock Shop. But if you go through it here, you can see there is my parfait, okay? And that's the exact color that we used. So I can get that out, and then I can go over to my collection of papers and find that exact sheet, okay? Now, if you don't have that paper and you want to order it, a couple things you can do. We'll take a look here on the website. If we go under the supply list, you'll notice that at the bottom of each supply list, it mentions here, all cardstock featured is Encore cardstock, and for links to our go-to tools, click here. And that's going to take you to a page where we list a lot of our go-to tools, and there's links to all of them. So if we click on cardstock, it'll show you Encore textured cardstock, and you can click Shop Encore Cardstock. That'll take you over to the 12x12 Cardstock website, and you can literally type in parfait. Okay, and when you do that, you should get a result, and it'll take you to the exact piece of paper that we used, exact color, where you can go ahead and order it. Okay, you can buy them singly or in packs of 25. Okay, that takes care of parfait. Let's see what else we have here. And then this last piece for this project is a 7-inch wide panels_pattern. Okay, and what that means is, well, that's a pattern piece. And if you look at the shape of this piece and then compare that to the actual image, which you can see here as well, if you want to bring up a higher resolution version, bring it up on your screen. You can see the image there. Obviously, this is a pattern piece of paper. Now, this is the fun part. This is where you get to pick the pattern that you want to use. Now, let's just say that you don't have the exact paper that I have, which is highly possible. But let's say you have a wonderful stack of graphic 45 paper, and you want to use that, okay? All right, well, this is a great little piece here. Now, this might not be exactly what you pick, but I'm just going to use it as an example. Okay? Let's say I'm going to use this as the main pattern on my apron. Okay? So the next thing you need to decide is, well, I've got this beautiful pattern. What color, okay, because look, we have the pattern, but we also, at this point, need to pick out a color for the main structure. Now, this is where a swatch comes in very handy, because what you can do is you can kind of go through the swatch, and based on these colors here, this peach color, this blue, this green, I think that I want to probably highlight this color here, or if I want to create some contrast, go with this turquoise. What you can do is just kind of go through your swatch book and be like, okay, well, that's pretty close. That might work. That's a little too pink. That's getting closer. So it's got kind of the same hue, but it's a little bit darker. I like that. I'm going to hold on to that. I don't think any of these will work. So now let's take a look at maybe this turquoise. Let's take a look at that. And we're getting close here. I like, that looks nice. Okay, so I'm going to hold on to that. And just kind of scrub through here. Let's go back to the greens. I don't know if the green's going to work well with this. I think the turquoise or the pink. And let's see. This is where you get to make a creative decision. What do you want to use as your main structure? And what you can do is take this swatch, kind of put it behind there. In the final project, there's only a little bit of it poking through next to the pattern. So you can kind of place that solid color behind there and see how you feel about that. That looks nice. And that looks nice as well. Okay, so this swatch is very helpful, okay? And you can actually get yourself a swatch on the 12x12 cardstock website. They will actually make you one and send it out to you. As you can see here, here's a swatch book. Now we also include, now this is not going to be as accurate, but we have a Dreaming Tree app, and in the app, if you scroll down, we have a built-in swatch. And these are all of the colors of the Encore paper. They're all right here. Now, I will say that there is no substitute to having an actual swatch book. This digital version, this digital swatch that's available through our app is nice to have, but again, if you take a look at the color Parfait on my screen here and compare it to the actual color on a swatch, okay, you can see that it is not even close. Okay, the swatch book is helpful to have and it will get you in the ballpark, but again, it is no replacement for an actual swatch book. So the digital swatch that's available through our app, I would personally use it more to help you locate the actual paper that you're interested in purchasing rather than using it as an actual swatch book. So let's say, for example, I'm looking at this project here and I know for a fact that I need to order some Parfait. It's very easy just to go in and locate it, hit Parfait. You can get a little bit of a bigger photo, but there's also a link there that will take you straight to their site, and you can just add as many as you want, add it to your cart, okay, and then hit done. Go back to your swatch if you need other colors, but that is why I would use it. I would not use it for color matching, okay? So as part of the Dreaming Tree suggested workflow, I highly recommend downloading the Dreaming Tree app. If you visit our website and scroll down all the way to the bottom, you'll see a link that says download the official app. You can click on it where it will give you a link to download it for your Apple iOS device, or for Android, it is available for both. And not only does it give you a digital swatch, but we also have a quick link to all of the different supplies that we use, including the cardstock, printable cardstock, the vellum, glue, and basically anything and everything that we use to create these projects back here. So now that you have all your papers selected, it's time to bring your files into your cutting software and start cutting them. In this video, we're going to use Cricut Design Space as the software since it's the most popular, but we do have videos to show you how to import your files into most of the popular cutting softwares, and you can locate that under the Help section. And for example, if you have a Silhouette or a Scan and Cut, you can click on Silhouette, and if you scroll down a little bit, there's a little link that says how do I import SVG files into Silhouette Studio Designer Edition, and there's a video that walks you through it there. And then of course we have the process for a Scan and Cut as well. But in Cricut Design Space, what you're going to do is you're going to select New Project, and then you're going to hit Upload, and you're going to click Upload Image. And this is where you can either drag or drop or browse. After hitting Browse, you need to navigate to the Downloads folder, or if you moved the file to a different folder, you need to navigate to that folder. You're going to open that up. Now, before I get into this, I do want to let you know that as of February of 2024, we started including all-in-one versions of our projects. If you have a project that features an all-in-one version, you'll see a folder called SVG All-in-One. Now, if you don't see this folder, it probably means that it's an older file and it doesn't have it, or it hasn't been updated yet. We are going through and retroactively updating older content to include this all-in-one file. Let's take a look at the all-in-one file. Let's double click on it. And inside that folder, you'll see a Cricut Silhouette or a Scan and Cut version. You want to make sure that you're using the correct one. I'm going to use the Cricut version, so I'll double click and open that. And you'll find two different versions in there. One that says dashed score and one that says solid score. So if you have a Cricut that has the ability to do solid score lines and you want to use solid score lines, you can pick the solid score line version. Now, I typically don't use solid score lines unless I'm making a card or an envelope. Very rarely will I use solid score lines for three-dimensional projects. For the apron bag, I did actually use solid score lines. So let's open that up. We're going to do both. Let's open up the solid score. Okay, and you can see it's going to pop up here. Just hit upload, and then click on it here and add it to your canvas. And here it is. Okay. Now, to prepare your file for cutting, since this is all in one file, we're going to right-click on this and hit ungroup. And what that's going to do is separate these so that you can click on them individually, because there is one more step that you need to make sure you do, actually two more steps. Now, because these are solid score lines, over here with this one, you can see where the score lines are. We're going to expand this layer. This layer, when we click on it, you can see that it highlights these little stitch marks. So what that means is if you wanted to, you could change this layer to actually draw if you wanted to. That will actually draw these stitches with a pen. Okay, I'm actually just going to have it cut that, which is fine. We'll do a basic cut. And now if I click on this layer here, you can see that it selects the solid score lines. Now, since I'm using a score wheel, I need to change the operation to score. Okay, and by doing that, it'll identify that it did that by kind of making these look like perforated score lines, but it's just letting you know that you changed it from a solid score line, and now it knows that you're going to be putting a different tool in to do the scoring. Okay, so once that's done, you can click on the entire element, and we do need to attach it. Now let me show you what happens if you don't attach it. If we just go and click make, what's going to happen is, and we're not going to save it, it's going to put the score lines on a separate mat. If you ever see anything like that, you know that you forgot to attach something and you want to go back. So again, we're going to click on this piece, on the entire thing, and hit attach. Okay, now on this piece here, you'll notice that the option to attach is also available, but we don't have any score marks. So I'm going to go ahead and hit attach on that. And that's actually just little markers on the pattern piece to help you with the positioning of, well, in this case, it's this piece. Okay, let me bring that to the front, and you can see where that goes. Okay, and we often do that on our projects to help you center various elements on another piece, or not even center, or just position. So what I typically will do is go through and just make sure that everything is attached if it needs to be. Now, for example, this one, when I click on it, it doesn't have any markers and it doesn't have any score marks. So when I click on it, it doesn't give me the option to attach, so I don't have to. I can click make, and you'll see here that everything is all laid out and ready to go, and it's only 3 mats, and I can make it. Okay, so you're going to cut this out. Once you're done, you go back to our website, and you're going to scroll down underneath the main product image to the assembly video, and that's where the fun begins. You'll join me. I'll walk you through the entire assembly, and by the end of the video, you'll have a beautiful paper project. Now, keep in mind that all of our videos are also available on the Dreaming Tree app, and you can actually, right from the home page, do a search. So if I type in apron and do a search, you'll see that it pops up right there. And you can do this from your tablet since it's a bigger screen, and you can watch it directly from your other device. If you have a tablet or a phone, I personally prefer, if I was going to watch it on a tablet since it has a bigger screen, or of course there's nothing better than a full desktop or laptop computer, in which case the video is located on the project page. And you can always go up here into the search and type in this case, apron. It'll come up here, or you can just hit the search button and scroll down a little bit and you'll see that it's there. And then you can scroll down and find the video there. Now let me go back to Design Space here. When you go to upload one of our files, if you do not see an SVG all-in-one folder, you'll only have an SVG folder. So if we open that up, you'll notice that we have all of the elements, but they're separated into separate SVG files. And that means that you're going to need to upload these individually. So we'll get that one uploaded, and we'll hit Upload Image again, browse, select the next one, upload that, and the last one, get that one uploaded, and there we go. Okay, and then we'll have to bring these in separately, add them to the canvas, and essentially you have the same exact thing, except that you had to upload each one individually. We have them that way because there are other programs out there that just don't do well with the all-in-ones. And now this time I uploaded the perforated version, in which case all you need to do is just highlight it and hit attach on anything that has markers or score lines, and then you hit make it, and just like before, it will lay it out for you. It's ready to cut, and then you are ready to assemble. So beyond being a wonderful resource for staying on top of everything Dreaming Tree related, you have the ability to look and browse through all of our YouTube videos. You can see what the latest freebies are. You can shop the site just like you would on your desktop. You can search for videos. You have access to an entire supply list. Like for example, inking is something that I do on the majority of our projects. And there's only a few tools that I use. One of them is this little ink applicator. You can find the link to that there. There's actually a link that will take you straight to Amazon to purchase it. And then also the inks that we use. The supply list is very handy. Of course, it also has the swatch. So if you're looking for specific paper and you need to order it, you can locate it in here, click on it. It'll take you straight to the 12x12 cardstock website where you can purchase it by the sheet or in packs of 25. And last but not least, if you ever get stuck, need to talk to myself or Mike, you can click on help and you can email us. You can even text me, call me. And of course, there's a link to our wonderful Facebook group, which I invite you to join so you can see all of the beautiful things that our dreamers create and inspire us with. So I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll leave you with this. The number one thing that I hear from people that are new to Dreaming Tree is, I don't think I can do this. To that I say, if you can make a simple freebie like this apron favor bag, and it's only 3 pieces, if you can get those uploaded, pick out your papers, get them cut out, you can make anything on the website, because again, we include comprehensive step-by-step assembly videos for every single one of our projects. So I really think there's nothing that you can't make. And with that said, I look forward to seeing you in the craft room. Hey, thanks for crafting along with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, check out some of our other videos and please consider hitting that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to visit our site and check out our free SVG section where you'll find over 140 free SVG files complete with assembly tutorials. I'll see you in the craft room.